Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith in the Black VTF here at T3 Live with today's market wrap-up, and we got a little bit of a Gomer Powell rally. Surprise, nobody really looking for it, and lo and behold, it's, when you look at this big drop, it doesn't look like much on the daily, but it certainly was a nice move, SPY up about 260 something, and still within these lower highs here, but, when you take a look at the 60, it's nice. Still higher lows, and then coming up under here. The only problem you can see, I know there's a lot of lines on here. Still a third lower high off of this stuff, and still has to prove itself. You got a QQQ here, and you can see a little bit better. Remember, I talked about those outside bars, or those big red bars, as I should say, here. This, and taking that out, which the Qs did very slightly here in the SPY. Here, still below it. Still couldn't take it out. So we'll see if we can still take that stuff out. So the question here, too, is when you see something like this, and why it caught a lot of people off guard, is why would the market rally in front of a Fed decision and stuff like that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, certainly that if you're an institution and you saw the kind of volume we were looking at yesterday, not too hard to run the futures up a little bit to help you unload a little stock, first of all. Second of all, I talked about last week in one of the market wrap-ups about using statistical analysis to look at the market and what direction it should be going when you look at all the sectors and the stocks within the broader averages. First of all, this morning I talked about watching some UPS, which was nice here, just because of that, watching those things that are going to be affected by low oil prices. And although USO proxy here pops up a little bit, once again, this big range is going to be a big benefit for the trannies, and so that helped. To talk about watching Sherwin-Williams on the weak side, and you can see that was week 2. Obviously, not everything I talked about worked out, but once they start moving off of their openings, you can see who's strong and who's weak. So when I talk about statistical analysis, and I talk about the inside bars being in equilibrium, as the day started off, certainly we were a little, in this tight 3-day range, and so the question is, what statistically would say that this is going to keep going during the day? And so basically we broke a lot of equilibriums to the upside. On a daily basis, XLE was inside day up. OIH was inside day up. That gave you Slumber J inside day up. And you can see a lot of this stuff isn't big movers, but when they all do it, first of all, it's a series. Since we know on the monthly, most likely there's an inside month outside of a huge rally or sell-off in the S&P. That all we have is the weeklies. And so we start off with the daily 60s, and then the dailies will trigger the weekly. So with the dailies, we had GILD was an inside day up. You had Noble Energies with those XLE stuff. You had MetLife. Some of the financials going Pru here, all inside day. And the trannies, you also had CSX. You had AMBA coming off the lows inside day and up. You had EOG with the oils. You had FedEx doing it. And so when you see that, then the question, are those strong enough to trigger a bunch of inside weeks? And lo and behold, we have Apple, albeit gapping up yesterday, holds that inside week and up. You have Merck and the Dow going inside week and up. You have Activision, ATVI, inside week and up and trying to go towards new highs. McDonald's in the Dow. And so when you see all of these starting to trigger, it's what I call a simultaneous break. And by simultaneous, it means that you're seeing almost nothing. Let's go VNQ2. Reach coming weak and up. You're seeing almost nothing going the other direction. You're seeing this inside 60s break the inside days, break the inside weeks, all in the same direction. And when you have somewhat of a less liquidity like you do in this environment, that keeps things just going the same way all day long. So what you can look at then is, do we have anything countering it? Do we have inside days and down? Do we have inside weeks and down? And so for the inside weeks, it's almost nothing except the story stocks from this morning, XNPT, and it was inside week and down, and you can see what a gap that was. Talked about that this morning. Gap and go, and that's exactly what you want on a strong day like today, something that doesn't have a chance. And Sonic, the same way. Oops. So during a simultaneous break, you'll have a few of these sacrificial lambs, if you will, inside week and down, and real nice. And so then the question is, with all these inside weeks and days breaking to the upside, do we have any days going to the downside? Did that give us any clues? And almost nothing, but you had Macy's inside day and down very slightly, and that gives an indication to watch, albeit that the market did not back off very much all day. There certainly was some weakness in retail, and we want to pay attention to that to see how it goes. Raw stores, not great weakness, not like just like some of these things don't look like great strength, but something to take notice of when we are on a very strong day. Are these things going to come back and join the rally tomorrow? Or are they going to help cause a pullback? TJ Maxx slightly red there. You had Nordstrom here gap up and come in and close near the lows. You had Gap stores going down. You had AEO here going down. So all that matters. And so as you go forward, the question is, when you look at tomorrow, the question is how many equilibriums do we have left? Because we know most things in the longer term, at least the weeklies, have triggered to the upside. However, the monthlies are still inside to be considered consolidating. So for tomorrow, we want to start off and look at the days. XME, I know it's not a big mover, but XME is an inside day with letter X trying to come off the lows there. You've got FCX goes inside day there. You've got SUNE, which a lot of people have been watching since it's gotten beaten up. There's an inside day there. And then you can go to, we were talking about retail, Kroger. Inside day, I don't know, there's a bad tick in there. I want to check that out. We got Coors versus KORS. Here is an inside day to see if there's any help there. The IBB here, slightly moving higher today, so we want to watch that. Alexion is an inside day, and one of the few that if it breaks to the downside would be inside weak and down. You got VRTX as an inside day to keep an eye on. You've got ACAD here, stays inside day on a strong day in the market. Amgen stays inside day. Doji, Kite. So all these things are going to be the keys to tomorrow. Do we get a pullback in the IBB? Certainly, if we do, I'd be looking at these on the downside or follow through to the upside to give it more oomph. In the home builders, you got Lennar stays as an inside day. And then with those energies popping up, we want to watch any energy definitely that stayed inside day. COG, XEC here, and Concho, CXO, to see if there's any follow-through over there. And certainly always like to watch tech, especially with the Qs doing somewhat outperforming at this point. And you got LinkedIn as an inside day. You've got Western Digi as an inside day. You got GoPro. If there's any hope, inside day again here. And Mobileye. I know a lot of people watching that thing too. So there's ways to look at things, from a technical standpoint as far as the mechanics, and that would be illiquidity and the ability to for institutions to move the futures and maybe unload a little stock in front of the Fed day, and then the statistical analysis. And as the day goes on, you can say, oh yeah, Rob, at the end of the day you can say they're all inside and blah blah blah, but during the day that's what we're tracking. Okay, now these are breaking the inside day, now these are breaking the week, these are confirming this, these are confirming that, and reconfirming on the shorter term time frames. And that's the way we do it. But for tomorrow, we'll be looking at those inside days to see if they can confirm this rally or negate it. And certainly in any morning, you can see the importance of watching these gaps to see if there's gap and go or gap and reverse, because they can often be some of the best plays of the day. All right, that's going to do it for today. I hope everybody had a good day. Oh, let me point out one thing. UVXY getting cremated here, and that's really been waiting for this, as I believe we are expiration, and we're looking for the new contracts to see if this goes back into contango. And some people will be like, I missed the move, I should have caught it there. And these things go into contango, and when it's all over and said and done, we know how the decay is going to act on this. So this may seem like a real significant top, but we're not out of the woods yet. We'll see we'll see how things go tomorrow. But all right, that's going to do it. I hope everybody had a good day, and we'll see you in the morning. I'm Rob Smith, the In the Black VTF here at T3 Live with today's market wrap up.